One night, many middle-class and poor families found out they had been cheated. They had invested all their savings in a company because they were promised 25 times the profit. When they rushed to the company's office, they found many others who had lost everything too. The owner, a man named Jeang, had run away with all their money. The angry families began blaming one specific man because he was the one who had convinced them to invest. Even though that man had also lost his own money and was a victim too, the crowd wouldn't stop blaming him. Feeling hopeless and unable to handle the pressure, he jumped out of a window and ended his life. The news reported that over 3,000 people had been cheated by the company. Sadly, 10 people had already taken their own lives because they lost all their money. The police could not find Jeang, and the government gave up on catching him, which made the public very angry. Amidst this chaos, we meet a young man named Allan, who was a small-time thief. One day, after stealing a watch from the market, Allan ran to his father's office to hide. There, he saw his father making a fake passport for Jeang. It turns out Allan's father was an expert at making fake documents. In the criminal world, he was known by the nickname the Frog. Allan's father had quit the criminal life long ago, but he agreed to make one last passport for Jeang as a favor. Allan was angry about it, but his father promised this would be his final job. To show he cared, Allan gave his father the stolen watch as a gift. Allan wanted to go with him to deliver the passport, but his father refused. He knew the underworld was full of dangerous liars and wanted to keep his son safe. When the father met Jeang, it was clear that Jeang was a backstabber. The next morning, Allan's father was found dead, hanging in a warehouse. The police called it a suicide, but Allan knew better. He knew Jeang had murdered his father. Heartbroken and angry, Allan promised himself that he would find Jeang and get revenge. News reports revealed that Jeang had stolen $4 billion. He took half of that money and fled to China. Allan decided to follow him there to get his revenge. During his journey, Allan heard that Jeang had died, but some witnesses claimed the death was a lie and that Jeang was still alive. The story then jumps 8 years into the future. We are introduced to a team of 3 scammers: Tanya, Jacob, and Romy. They worked together to steal expensive jewelry using a clever trick. Tanya would go into a jewelry store pretending to be a rich customer. She would pick a beautiful necklace and quickly swap it for a fake one using magic hand tricks. Just as she finished the swap, Jacob and Romy would rush in pretending to be police officers. They would arrest Tanya and take her away. In the middle of all the confusion, they would escape with the real necklace before anyone noticed it was missing. Prosecutor Park arrested a powerful police officer for taking a $1.2 million bribe to help Jeang escape. Park told reporters he had a secret notebook from Jeang that listed every corrupt person involved. Even though a reporter named Choi believed Jeang was still alive, Park insisted it was just a rumor. Later, Park met with his boss, General Prosecutor Kim. We find out that Park was actually lying and didn't have the list at all. Kim was scared because his own name was on that list, and he wanted Park to find a man named Lee who might have it. Park realized that by hiding the list, he could protect a powerful politician who wanted to be the next president. Finally, Park went to meet his secret team of thieves: Tanya, Jacob, and Romy. Park had already told Tanya, Jacob, and Romy to follow a man named Lee. Romy was an expert with computers and found out that Lee used to work for Jeang and had spent 3 years in jail. Now, Lee was working in real estate. Park suspected that Lee had the secret list of corrupt officers. He ordered his team to search Lee's house while he arrested him. When Park arrested Lee, the team found fake papers in the house. These papers were meant to cheat a man named Jackie. However, Lee told Park that it was actually Jackie who had cheated him. Lee met Jackie at a real estate event where Jackie came up with a plan to trick him. Jackie asked Lee to invest in a deal that would make $1.2 million. However, Jackie claimed his own money was stuck in an American bank and he needed $100,000 to get it out. Hoping to make a huge profit, Lee gave Jackie the $100,000. Jackie took the cash and went into a restroom, but Lee had no idea how he disappeared from there. Lee was devastated after losing all that money. When Prosecutor Park checked the security cameras, he saw that Jackie had removed a disguise in the restroom to reveal he was actually a much younger man. When they zoomed in on the video, they realized the thief was actually Allan, the same person who had gone to China 8 years ago to find Jeang. Jacob recognized him immediately. Jacob told Park that Allan was a very clever criminal who only tricked other scammers. He even admitted that Allan had tricked him before. Allan was an expert at using masks to change how he looked. Using security footage, they found Allan's car number and his home address. Park and Jacob rushed to his house, but Allan had already escaped. Romy tracked Allan's car, and after a fast chase, they caused him to crash and arrested him. In the questioning room, Park was worried that Allan had found the secret list of corrupt officers at Lee's house. He asked Allan why he had tricked Lee. Allan explained that he was just trying to find Jeang. Jacob and Park told him that Jeang was dead, but Allan shocked them by saying Jeang was still alive. Allan said he had personally met Jeang in Thailand 4 years ago after searching for a long time. Allan explained that he even managed to get inside Jeang's house in Thailand. He was caught because of a small mistake, but he was able to lie his way out, and Jeang let him go. Now, Jeang has moved to a new secret location. Allan told Park that his only goal is to kill Jeang to get revenge for his father's death. Park checked the facts and found out Allan was telling the truth about his trip to Thailand and his father's death 8 years ago. Meanwhile, a corrupt politician named Donald started his election campaign. After a public event, he met with his dishonest friends, including Park. Park shocked the group by telling them that Jeang was still alive. This terrified everyone because they were all involved in Jeang's crimes. Park suggested they should just find and kill Jeang to end their worries forever. However, Donald didn't want any big trouble during the election. Instead, he ordered Park to kill anyone who claimed to have seen Jeang alive. Park was very angry after the meeting. Instead of following the order, he decided to team up with Allan. He told Allan, "Let's find Jeang together." Allan agreed, but only on one condition. He must be the one to kill Jeang with his own hands. The whole group started a plan to catch Jeang. To get to him, they first had to trick Lee. They knew that to win over a thief like Lee, they had to act like they were incredibly rich. With Jacob's help, Allan pretended to be a billionaire who owned a massive casino with millions of dollars in illegal business. Lee fell for the trap. As soon as he got out of jail, he rushed to meet Allan. While this was happening, Tanya and Romy snuck into Lee's house and office to hide cameras and microphones. The next day, Lee went to meet Allan. The office he visited was actually a fake setup. They had even hired actors to pretend to be employees just to make Lee believe Allan was a powerful boss. During the meeting, Allan told Lee, "I am looking for a partner to start a new business." Allan told Lee that he was starting an illegal casino. He promised that anyone who invested $1 million would get an 80% profit in just 6 months. Lee was very excited by the offer and immediately tried to find the money. When he couldn't find it anywhere else, he finally called Jeang in Thailand. Because Park's team was listening through hidden microphones, they heard everything. They were shocked to hear Jeang's voice, which proved he was definitely still alive. Jeang told Lee that he would send one of his trusted men to check if Allan's business was real. If the man liked it, Jeang would send the $1 million investment. Park and the team realized this was their big chance. They started planning how to convince Jeang's messenger that the fake business was actually real. A few days later, Jeang sent a businessman named Danny to Korea. When Allan tried to make the deal, Danny complained that the rules were too strict. Allan didn't back down. He got angry and told Danny to take the deal or leave. The rest of the team was worried that Allan was being too bossy, but Allan was sure Danny would come back. He knew Danny had to call Jeang before making a final choice. The team decided to spy on Danny, and Tanya was given the job. She used her charm to get close to Danny to find out what he was thinking. Meanwhile, Allan told Prosecutor Park to leak a story to the news claiming Jeang was still alive. Allan believed that if the news spread, it would cause chaos in Jeang's criminal network and force Jeang to make a mistake. Allan decided to go to Thailand to keep watch. Meanwhile, Tanya managed to copy all the contacts from Danny's phone onto a thumb drive. To stir things up, the team spread a fake news report using Jacob as a witness. Jacob claimed on TV that he had seen Jeang in Thailand and had even told the police. When Danny heard the news, he got very worried and called Jeang. Park and Allan were listening and were shocked by what Jeang said. Jeang told Danny that he wasn't in Thailand at all. He was actually in Korea and wanted to meet right away. Danny rushed out to meet Jeang, and Tanya followed him secretly. Romy tracked Tanya's phone and sent the location to Park and Jacob, who were racing there in their car. Tanya finally saw Jeang and Danny together, but by the time Park and Jacob arrived, Jeang had already disappeared. However, Park saw him from a distance and was 100% sure that Jeang was alive. Park was furious that he missed Jeang by just a few seconds. Suddenly, one of his men called and told him that Allan was in a restaurant meeting with reporter Choi. Park was shocked because he thought Allan was in Thailand. He realized Allan was secretly playing his own game. At the restaurant, Choi gave Allan a list of corrupt officers, but it was a fake one created by Park to trick people. Choi warned Allan that only 2 people had the real list, Jeang and Park. Park figured out that Allan wanted the list to find out who hired his father to make the fake passport 8 years ago. The truth was dark. Park and his boss, Kim, were the ones who hired Allan's father. Park was actually the one who planned the murder of Allan's father, and both he and Kim were there the night he died. To keep his secret safe, Park called Allan and told him to come back to Korea immediately, claiming they had to catch Jeang now that he was nearby. When Allan returned, Park gave him a gun and told him to kill Jeang. However, Park secretly gave Jacob a gun too, ordering him to kill Allan afterward. From their secret recordings, the team learned that Jeang was going to meet Danny again on Sunday. On Sunday, they followed Danny to a restaurant. Danny went into a secret room in the basement to meet Jeang. The team waited outside, listening to everything through a tiny microphone they had hidden in Danny's suit. Inside the room, Jeang revealed his big plan. He was in Korea to smuggle $300 million. As soon as Park heard about the $300 million, he got greedy. He changed his mind and didn't want to kill Jeang anymore. He wanted to steal the money first. Park ordered Allan to stop the mission, but Allan refused. Allan didn't care about the money. He only wanted revenge for his father. Allan really wanted to kill Jeang, so Park had to stop him. He ordered Jacob to knock Allan unconscious and take him away. Then, Park went to meet a powerful politician. He made a deal. If they could steal the $300 million from Jeang, the politician could use it for his election, and in return, Park would get a high-ranking job where he could take unlimited bribes. The politician agreed. Park then met with Allan and told him, "Let's get the money first, then we can kill Jeang." Allan still didn't like the plan, but then Park made him a special offer. Park promised to give Allan the real secret list of corrupt officers, the list Allan had been looking for to find his father's killers. To get that list, Allan finally agreed. The next day, Danny met Allan. He told Allan that he had special certificates worth $300 million in cash that he needed to trade. Allan went to Park and demanded a commission for the job. Park agreed to give him 30% of the money. Surprisingly, Allan told his teammates, Jacob, Tanya, and Romy, that they could keep all of that 30% for themselves. Allan repeated that he didn't want the money. He only wanted Jeang and the secret list. His teammates, Jacob, Tanya, and Romy, were shocked because 30% of the money was a massive $90 million. Allan told Danny he was ready to help turn the $300 million certificates into real cash. Danny handed over the certificates, but there was a catch. To get the rest of the investment, the certificates had to be cashed out immediately. Park decided to speed things up by having the police raid Danny's office. Terrified by the raid, Danny agreed to convert all the certificates into cash quickly. To reward Allan for his help, Park gave him a small part of the secret list. It only had names of low-level officers, but Allan immediately sent it to the reporter, Choi. When Choi published the names in the newspaper and the officers started getting arrested, the powerful bosses got very scared. General Kim was furious with Park, and Park was angry at Allan for making the list public. But then, something went wrong. Danny suddenly disappeared and went underground. No one could find him, and the team started to panic. The team was terrified because $270 million was still missing. They rushed to the secret basement room, but it was empty. Park blamed Allan, thinking the newspaper story had scared Danny away. Suddenly, Danny called Allan. He said, "I need $30 million in cash by tomorrow. If you give me that, I will hand over the certificates for the remaining $270 million the next day." Park told Allan to agree to the deal. To get the $30 million, Park went to his group of corrupt friends. At first, they refused to help and even made fun of him. Park got very angry and threatened them, saying, "If you don't give me the money, I will put all your names in the newspaper tomorrow." Scared of being caught, they finally agreed to pay. Later, Park caught Lee, the man who had been pretending to work for Jeang. Park tortured him until he finally admitted the truth about everything. Lee confessed that Allan, who had used the name Jackie, was the one who paid him to spread the rumors about Jeang being alive. Park was shocked to realize Allan had been playing him all along. Meanwhile, Allan met Danny and gave him the $30 million in cash. In exchange, he took the certificates for the remaining $270 million. Allan told Danny he would have the rest of the money ready by the next day. Danny replied that he was planning to escape Korea by boat the next day and told Allan to bring the money to the port. When Allan went back to meet Park, he said, "Tomorrow, when Jeang and Danny try to escape, we will catch them both. This is our last night." But Park was already too angry. He took Allan prisoner and locked him up. Later that night, Danny went to a secret location. Park's men were tracking him, believing Danny would lead them straight to Jeang. Park was sure that Jeang was hiding at that secret spot. He ordered his men to break down the door and arrest Jeang immediately. While his men went to the secret location, Park stayed behind and began to torture Allan. Park told Allan, "I have Jeang and the money now. I don't need you anymore." But suddenly, Park's men called with bad news. Danny and Jeang had escaped with the $30 million Park had gathered. Park was shocked because his plan had failed completely. While Park was panicking, Jeang made a surprise conference call to all the powerful politicians. Jeang threatened them, saying, "I have the secret list of everyone who took bribes. If I give it to the media, all your careers are over. If you don't stop Prosecutor Park, I will destroy you all." Terrified, the politicians turned on Park and threatened to ruin him if he didn't stop. Park begged them for one last chance, promising to bring them Zhang's head. To find Jeang and Danny at the port, Park decided he had to use Allan one more time. He promised Allan, "Help me now, and I will finally give you the real list of corrupt officers." After Park left the room, Tanya and Romy tried to convince Allan to give up. They told him, "Forget the revenge. Just run away now and save your own life." Allan explained to his team that when he met Jeang in Thailand, Jeang told him that he never killed Allan's father. Even though Jeang was a criminal, he wasn't a murderer. Allan's father was actually killed by Prosecutor Park. Because of this, Allan's real plan was to get revenge on Park and the corrupt politicians. He asked Tanya and Romy to help him finish his plan. Tanya called the politician, Donald, and told him she had evidence that could ruin his career, forcing him to meet her that night. Meanwhile, Park took the certificates to a money laundering friend and got $100 million in cash as an advance. Everyone then went to the port. Allan called Danny and told him to come pick up his money. But as soon as the call ended, Allan asked Park for the secret list, and Park's men grabbed him. Allan warned Park that he already had all the proof he needed to destroy him. Allan told Park, "I know you worked with Jeang to steal money and get rich." But Park laughed and said that Jacob had already stolen all of Allan's evidence. It turned out Jacob was secretly working for Park. Because Tanya and Romy were helping Allan, Park had all three of them arrested and taken onto a boat. Suddenly, Park's money laundering friend called him, sounding very angry. He told Park that the $270 million certificates were all fake papers. Park was shocked. He had lost his $30 million and gotten nothing but worthless paper in return. His friend demanded the $100 million advance back and threatened to kill him. Just then, Park and Jacob saw a car arriving, and they thought it was Danny and Jeang. Park's men quickly grabbed the two people who stepped out of the car. But the man wasn't Jeang, it was Allan. Using Zhang's voice, Allan asked, "Are you surprised?" Park was completely confused, and Allan finally began to explain how he had tricked everyone. Allan explained that he planned everything to trap Park. He collected evidence, and even wore a Jeang mask to trick Park into thinking Jeang was really there. When Park got angry and pointed a gun at Allan, Jacob suddenly pointed a gun at Park. It turns out that Jacob and Danny were working for Allan the whole time. Jacob's brother had died because of these corrupt people, and Danny's wife had also taken her own life because of them. When Allan saw how much they were suffering, he brought them together to get revenge for everyone. Later, Tanya and Romy joined the team too. Allan told them that Park was even worse than Jeang. Park took money from Jeang and helped him escape the country. He also protected the dishonest politicians who took bribes to hide the truth. Allan's goal was for the team to trick the people who had been tricking others for years. He believed the corrupt politicians were just as guilty as the criminal Jeang. Their very first step in this big plan was targeting the man named Lee. Allan's team made fake money certificates and used Danny to pretend he worked for Jeang. Allan also had a lot of evidence against the corrupt politicians, which Park had unknowingly helped him collect. When Park realized he was trapped, he tried to save himself. He told Allan, "I didn't kill your father alone. Many powerful politicians were involved, and they even control the news. If you give me the evidence, I will make sure they all go to jail. Just then, the corrupt politicians arrived because Tanya had led them there. They heard Park trying to blame them to save his own skin. Furious, they started a fight. One of the leaders, Counselor Trump, even fell to his knees and begged Allan for mercy. Suddenly, police cars and news reporters arrived and arrested everyone. Reporter Choi told Allan that the live video of everything happening had shocked the whole country. A confused Park looked at Allan, who simply pointed to a hidden CCTV camera. Through that camera, the entire nation had watched the powerful leaders admit to their crimes live on TV. A few months later, Allan was released from jail. He went back to his father's old office, where his entire team, Jacob, Danny, Tanya, and Romy, was waiting for him. They still had the $30 million they had tricked Park into giving them. On the wall, they had pictures of everyone who had been caught and sent to prison because of their plan. However, there was still one photo left, the mastermind Jeang. He was the only one who hadn't been caught yet.